To cut straight to this video, I'm going to have to explain a lot. So, right off the bat, Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche was a German philosopher, a pioneer of the humanities, and debatably the man who ended philosophy. His ideas are very complicated, and his face is so iconic that it's comparable to a lot of religious figures. A lot of people sadly do not know him beyond his quote, "God is dead and we have killed him," and that's a true shame. In this video, my intentions are to show how he would appreciate Spider-Man's spider sense over all other superpowers. Now, I have to define the spider sense, which is usually just chopped up to being this very simple animalistic bestial instinct to avoid being hit or that exists in combat, when in reality it has more uses outside of combat than within combat. It's a built-in GPS for the wall crawler, letting him swing city block to city block, instantly knowing where he is, avoiding traffic, construction. It allows him to feel his senses a lot more than we ever could. And most importantly, in theory, it protects him from ever showing his secret identity to someone who would mean him harm, or someone who couldn't be trusted knowing his secret identity.
You're unpredictable. This is not the direction I want us to go.
But I thought you lived this way.
No, I mean direction in life, Parker. I don't want us to start dating.
Well, what's wrong with us dating? We study together all the time.
Well, that's different. That's because I need your help in science. You're the only man I know who can remember everything about protons, and neutrons, and alpha rays, gamma rays.
I guess I simply glow on the subject of radiation. I don't know why. It must be in my blood.
Precisely. You're a natural student. But dinner with you would be a date, and dates are for boyfriends. Please don't be offended, Parker.
Oh, but Felicia, why can't you think of me as a boyfriend? Spider sense. Danger.
I have enough men asking me out. But a good tutor, that's hard to find.
That clip shows the power of 4 billion years of evolution brought to the proportion of a spider. Truly a blessed gift. I can't stress how many times in my own personal life I would be better off if I had very similar instincts, or instincts as powerful and profound as that. I would be constantly relying on them, regardless of any flaws, not rationalizing it away. Let's hope Spider-Man can do the same.
Mr. Psychic. Whoa! What was that? No sign of anything. My spider sense, again! Still nothing. There's something wrong with my spider sense. Well, busted spidey sense or not, I promised to meet Mary Jane at the Coffee Bean. And, since there's no sign of the goblin, there it is again! I hope this isn't my mutation disease returning. I don't think I could deal with that.
Yes, yes. Take off your mask and reveal your secret identity to your greatest enemy. At last, Spider-Man's greatest secret is mine. What? The Green Goblin's greatest foe, a mere boy? Impossible! Impossible!
Wait! That's Peter Parker, the friend of my son Harry.
Shut up!
I remember watching that on my television and saying that was more depressing than cable. I mean, imagine having a superpower that gives you a 30-second head start, it saves your life on a weekly basis, makes it so you can out-dodge all your enemies to the point you can, like, stall to come up with the idea to take them down. I mean, hell, a big reason why Venom and any symbiote for him was hard to fight, or symbiotes we're used to seeing, especially on the animated pictures, because they don't trigger his spider sense. They're harder to beat for that reason. And here he is, doubting it, costing him his safety and the safety of those he loved.
May doesn't worry about poor Peter.
Venom? Without Carnage? Dumb without Dumber? I thought those two were tied together at the symbiote.
Increase the harmonic gain. That should draw him more quickly.
Oh, Benny! Come out, wherever you are!
We just love running into old friends.
Oh, man. Forgot Venom doesn't trigger my spider sense. Gotta hit the old Sonics. So much for my secret weapon.
Disappeared.
Revenge is a human trait we enjoy. We'll have our revenge against you and the ones close to you, like your poor Aunt May or Mary Jane Watson. We know all about them, too.
You leave them alone. You won't believe it. 2 of them. His webbing's stronger than mine. Stronger than me.
Quite a crowd. Perfect time for an uncanny.
I must reiterate myself because someone's going to misinterpret this. By no means am I saying he's dumb. Quite the opposite. He's very intelligent. He's getting a science degree from an upscale university where rich kids and foreign exchange students try to get in. He uses chemistry to defeat enemies like the Sandman or Hydro. He's very good at being a leader. He's actually a natural leader. He's often depicted as being a part of the Avengers, one of the world's most important groups of heroes, despite the fact he's not that much stronger than a lot of his enemies. In fact, he's notably weaker in terms of just physical strength. But just due to his intelligence, he can compensate and meet them at that ground. There's way more to what someone believes in their intelligence. Believe it or not, your beliefs or your politics are more downstream from your character in regards to personality than they are necessarily intelligence. Intelligence does play a role, maybe at what stage of beliefs you are, right? So someone with your personality would have maybe the politics at this age, but you're a few years ahead of them age-wise, just due to your intellect, or maybe you skip years of thinking compared to other people. But for the most part, intelligence is not the main factor in determining what someone believes. Hell, one of the most popular tropes of politics on the internet for the last 10 years is the saying that politics are downstream from culture. I'll have to make a whole video on this in general since I believe it's more so downstream from character. But with great knowledge comes great responsibility, and I must quote this verse or this passage from Twilight of the Idols in regards to culture.
I have explained how Socrates fascinated his audience. He seemed to be a physician, a savior. It is necessary to go on to demonstrate the error in his faith in rationality at any price. It is a self-deception on the part of philosophers and moralists if they believe that they are extricating themselves from decadence by waging war against it. Extrication lies beyond their strength. What they choose as a means, as salvation, is itself but another expression of decadence. They change the form of decadence, but they do not get rid of decadence itself. Socrates was a misunderstanding. Any improvement morality, including Christianity, is a misunderstanding. The most blinding daylight, rationality at any price, life, bright, cold, cautious, conscious, without instinct, in opposition to the instincts. All this was a kind of disease, merely a disease, and by no means a return to virtue, to health, to happiness. To have to fight the instincts, that is the definition of decadence. As long as life is ascending, happiness equals instinct.
Young people love what is interesting and odd, no matter how true or false it is. More mature minds love what is interesting and odd about truth. Fully mature intellectuals finally love truth. even when it appears plain and simple, boring to ordinary person. For they have noted that truth leads to reveal its highest wisdom in the guise of simplicity. Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche. As you can just tell by me re-uttering that quote, a big misconception about Nietzsche that always has to die is the misconception that he was some kind of doomer nihilist, when in reality he was very much quite the opposite. This man had a lot of hobbies, he was a polymath, he enjoyed history, literature, plays, music. This man was everything but nihilistic. In fact, a big part of his philosophy was trying to help people cope with the death of Christianity. He was a patron saint, in my opinion, of the arts for that reason. And he was the first person to say, and thank God he did say it, that your rationality, yes, it's what makes you human, but your rationality serves your instincts. A good analogy would be, you don't serve money, you want money to serve you, right? You don't become rich just for the sake of being rich, unless you're desperate for some kind of stability in your life, right? Like some kind of FU money. You want that money to fulfill hobbies, right? You want that money to fulfill goals, aspirations, get you things like cars, which you would then in itself drive. You want to fulfill desires in your life. And the reason rationality prevents us sometimes from being happy is because rationality will convince us to do things we normally would want to do, but we decide at the last minute to chicken out on. So, for instance, I was thinking about watching the new Spider-Man movie, right? No Way Home. So I decided to watch the animated series from 1994, and you see Spider-Man deal with this problem when he's forced to team up with the 6 American heroes to get Captain America back to life and save the world from Electro, right? Very similar morals there. A lot of musicians have to learn that, because statistically speaking, common sense wise, oh, it's impossible, I'm never going to be a famous musician, oh, I'm never going to make it as an artist, oh, I'm never going to make it as a YouTuber, right? Where in reality, even if you cannot pursue that, your rationality shouldn't prevent you from fulfilling your dreams. Your rationality should be helping you get those dreams. And too many people, they're only, like, I'm using rationality to destroy rationality itself. This shows that rationality itself is like very deconstructive. It's innately very deconstructive. It's why deconstructive arguments are very appealing, right? They're extremely appealing. Like, because they're very rational. They're very, like, and also we're kind of taught to think that way by default. Like, oh, I have to be reasonable, I have to be rational, I have to stand by the side and count my blessings and, like, assess things. A lot of advice can be boiled down to take things slow, it's not that big of a deal, especially boomerisms. And Nietzsche is trying to show tries to show his audience, his constituency, his readers, the people who would investigate him, that shouldn't always be the case, right? It shouldn't. Your instincts, the things that make you a living being, right, make you distinct, in fact, because everyone's instincts are different. That, the thing within you, that is serving instincts. That should serve your instincts. And the truth, like, a lot of the most beautiful truths in the world are things that you evolve to learn. Like, you're built to solve problems in them, right? And, Nietzsche also said something along the lines, I'll put the quote on the screen, too much knowledge is just as bad as a hatred of knowledge. Knowledge should be obtained to see one's life fit, right? It should be there to help your fitness, your mental and emotional and physical fitness. And I see way too many people doubt themselves, give up on themselves, fall into this depression because they use their rationality too much instead of just, their gut, stomach thinking of instincts, right? And I know that's a lot easier said than done, because, again, what makes us human is that we use our reason to combat that and take it down. And I know this, right? Because I'm like this. But I'm a lot better now thanks to reading Nietzsche. I try to use my spider sense whenever I can. Thank you for watching.